talking of accomplishment, the second they touch upon, this billion-dollar figure, and the energy perhaps after that goes bust.
Yes, it's not just energy going bust, but complacency. You very rightly pointed out, it creeps in because you suddenly feel from scratch to probably 10,000 crores. I mean, it's a huge feeling for somebody who's a 28-year-old or a 27-year-old just finished studies and this couple of years into a company, and then suddenly you get a bounty. You suddenly feel you become so rich. I think, as I said, bottom lines must equally be focused on. But having said that, Vineet, I would also like to highlight some of the challenges which startups are facing here right now. First of them is second or third round of funding. They got their seed funding. They got their first round of funding. Now, the whole business model is drawn on the basis that you're going to get the second and third round of funding. Now, what is happening because of hike in the interest rates in the US and across the world, the funding process is becoming more and more stringent. So, the last information I have beneath is that funding is not coming as easily now as it was probably 6 months or 1 year ago. So, therefore, the point I'm trying to make here is that they need to have a roadmap ahead. They need to have an alternate in case this funding doesn't come. What happens to your startup? Do you collapse? Do you probably change course? Are you going to scale down? That is my first point. My second point is that I think regulatory framework in India still needs to be reformed. Many of the startups are facing challenges because of the regulatory framework. Despite the reforms, there have been a million reforms which have been done by this government. But I think there is more to go. We cannot sit back on our laurels and say we have now created a perfect startup ecosystem where you can, just come, walk into a city, set up your office, start your business, and tomorrow you are a unicorn. I think the road ahead is not as simple as it appears. And these are not my words, Vineet. These are the words of some of the aspiring startups. These are the words of some of the startups who already become unicorn, who are now facing problem in scaling up. So I think, and availability of skill, Vineet, is another big challenge because startups, after a while, they need high-skilled professionals, which they are not able to find easily. So I think, again, not playing devil's advocate here, I'm repeating that again and again. I think skill development in the country has to be on the plate because if you do not develop skills, there are startups who are not able to find right people to work. They have to fit square pegs in round holes. I think that is what lands them in trouble in the times to come. So these are the points I need to highlight because everybody is speaking for startup. So I had to, there had to be somebody in the panel who could highlight the problems at both ends, whether it is from the government's end or from the startup's end. Vineet.
Mr. Akash Jindal, if you can hear me now. Sharad?
Well, I would, as a closing remark, I would say, I would take an example of, let's say, a grocery app. I'm sure you must be seeing full-page blow-ups of these grocery apps.
Tons of them today.
10 minutes and 20 minutes. What's the business model? All they need to do is to have a warehouse. They have a technology where the order arrives. The rest of the money coming from investment, the point I was trying to make, is going into advertising. And that is what, $200 million, $300 million coming, all going into advertising because all you need to do is to get customers. You just need people who download the apps and place the orders. The rest becomes automatic. But the bottom line remains impacted. I think the manufacturing sector, Vineet, is not able to find, this is the other side of the coin.
Okay.
They are not able to find the kind of investment which these tech startups are finding. So I think if the government of India can come out with a policy where the manufacturing startups are able to find similar kind of money, similar quantum of money, I'm sure what I pointed out earlier can also start happening. You will see smaller units coming on, manufacturing those small components, those smaller things on which are loaded on ships from China every other day. That was my closing.